What up, what up, what up? You tune into the Jose Morales podcast where we talk sports, business, and everything in between. I am your host, Jose Morales, and we're at my boxing academy. Joining me in the ring today is Ricky Yee.
What's up, everybody?
Yee! Ricky Yee. And what we are going to talk about today is something that I had a lot of people bring up to me and ask me. And it's a very long story, and I feel bad not sharing it with you guys in person because it's so long. So I thought it'd be better to go into full-on detail on a podcast and share with you guys. And that is how I recently got in contact with my I don't even like saying father. What's the way to say that? How do I word that? How my father's side connected with my dad in a way. I guess I hate saying. I don't. To me, it sounds weird saying dad.
Saying father.
Yeah, because to me, he's not my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can say sperm donor.
Yeah, sperm donor. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to talk about how I came in contact with him and and everyone on that side. It's a long story. It actually started 2 years ago. 2 years ago is when it drew my interest to want to know about him. Because me growing up, I hated my dad. Real talk. I hated him. I never knew him. I hated him. I had all this anger feel built in me that I just hated him. I felt like my lifestyle and the way I grew up, poor with nothing, just all the struggles we had as a kid, I blamed it on him. Not that I wouldn't have been different if he was there, but that I always blamed it on him. Seeing my mom struggling, I blamed it on him. And so for a long time, I really never cared to know him, never cared to anything about him until my youngest was born. When Valentin was born, everything changed. And the reason why everything changed is because those that have seen my youngest, Valentin, he's white. Güero. I call him Güero. He's fucking white.
Oh, is that why you call him?
Yeah, we call him Güero. Güero means light-skinned white boy. That's what it means. And he's white. And my wife ain't white. My mom's side, we're light-skinned, but we're not white. You know what I mean? We don't have dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, oh, shit, you got worried it was a neighbor's kid, huh? Everyone's like, okay. But no, what really got to me is that my mom would always tell me, he looks like your dad. Always tells me that.
Is your dad have fair skin?
Yeah, always telling me that. He looks like your dad. He looks like your dad.
Mm-hmm.
After about a year of he looks like your dad, I was like, damn, bro. Now I'm curious of what he looks like. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, I really wonder what he looks like. And I had different ideas. I started typing up his name, Andres Basurto. I started typing it, looking him up. I couldn't find shit. And then I got the idea of doing 23andMe. You know, it's like the ancestry and all that. So I did it. I got the little fucking cup, spit in it, sent it. And they ask you, do you want to be public? You want your stuff to be public where if there's a relative, it'll connect with you. Like, oh, look, your cousin, your uncle, your whatever. And I said, fuck, yeah, that's what I'll do it. So I did it. I mailed it. I mailed it in. I think it was about a month later. On your app, it says, okay, you register your shit. It gives you a list of all your relatives, from the person that you share the most DNA with thousands of people, with the person you share at least, that could be like way fucking distant cousin. The top two people on there, one guy's name is Efrain. I shared 12% DNA with. And then right underneath him was a cousin of mine that I shared 8% with. And the female, the cousin that I shared 8% with, I actually know her because that is my cousin and it's from my mom's side. So that's why I'm like, oh shit, this is real because I actually know this person, right? And I shared 8% with her because she's my second cousin. Her dad is actually my cousin. And then the guy Efrain, the guy I share 1% with, this is my first cousin. So I click on his bio. I look at his picture. I look at where he's from. He's from Jalisco. My dad's from Jalisco. I knew that. And then I look at his name, and it was Flores Basulto. And this whole time, my entire life, I thought my dad's last name was Basurto with an R. Basurto. That's what I thought his name was. This made me connect the dots that his name was not Basurto with an R, but it was Basulto with the L. You know what I mean? And both last names are actual real last names or real last names. So that's when I actually connected it. Like, oh shit, it's with an L. So I started searching Andres Basulto, and I started finding like more about him, right? And at this point, I'm like, I actually sent dude a message. I sent Efrain a message because he said he wanted to meet family. I sent him a message. He ignored me, and I looked him up. I found him. He lived in Reno, 2 hours away. He had actually lived in Sac at one point. According to his background, you could do background fucking checks on people. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy lives in Reno. And at this time, this was 2 years ago, I was so pumped up because it was the first time I actually had any sort of contact or some sort of anything on my father's side. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, fuck. I couldn't sleep, bro. I could not sleep at all. I was laying in bed. I had his address. I had already called him. I told Oli, my wife, I'm like, I'm about to drive to Reno, bro. I'm about to go to Reno, knock on this fool's door. Pop, pop, pop. And be like, hey. She's like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're going to go knock on his door? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go knock on his door. She's like, I'm going to come with you. So I drove to Reno. I went to Reno. His where he lived was gated. I couldn't get in. I fucking snuck in. Fucking knocked on the door. Tap, tap, tap. No answer. Left a note. Left everything. No. I never talked to this guy. So months went by. And I'm like, I'm still curious. I'm like, damn, I got so close. Like, I thought I was finally going to get something. And the whole time, like, literally my conversation, if I ever found my dad, I was going to be like, look, I just want a picture of you guys. I wonder what you guys look like. And that's it. Like, I don't want a relationship with you. I don't care for none of that. I'm just curious of what you guys look like, since my mom constantly tells me my son looks like you. Right. So, I found this family on Facebook from Guadalajara, same name, same everything. Convinced this is him. I'm convinced this is him, right? I look all the siblings, got in contact with them. I actually got in contact with these people, and it's Andres Basulto, my dad's name, and he had actually died 2 years ago.
This
Andres Basulto, this guy that I found on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
That I'm convinced is my dad, right? I call him. I call that family. I got in contact with that family. My mom actually got in contact with him, and it was like, yeah. She's like, my mom was like, yeah.
Wait, so you saw a picture of the guy, right? On Facebook.
No, I didn't see a picture of him.
Oh.
I saw the name of the family, and I saw that they kept posting that Andres Basulto died,
Okay.
and rest in peace, and stuff like that. But I never actually had pictures of him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, did you have your mom look at the Facebook and see if she recognized anybody on there?
She didn't. My mom actually never
Met his family?
never met his family.
Oh, okay.
So she only knew him.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So she actually got in contact with Andres's mom, and they started talking, and they were like, "Oh shit! Like, yeah, that's where he lived. We lived in that area." Da 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 da. So my mom was like, "Yeah, this is your dad. We found him." I was like, "Fuck." So I look at the pictures. I actually talked to one of the siblings. This guy had like 16 brothers and sisters. Had hella kids. They were all actually like a bad family, bro. Bad family meaning they struggled. They didn't. I talked to one of the dudes, which is my half brother, and he was like, "Bro, you're actually better off not being raised with us because
He had it hard.
he had it hard. He used to beat us. 3 other siblings, 3 of the kids got murdered. One at 14, one at 23, one at 30. One of them was in prison, like heavily gang influenced. drug abuse. It was just not the family to be around. Like, they were real life gangsters, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and then I looked at their pictures and I look like them, bro.
Yeah.
I look like three of them. I look almost pretty damn similar to them. I'll show you pictures, bro. I look like a lot like them. So at this time, I'm like, okay, I found him. And I'm like, bro, I don't look nothing like this guy. Nothing like him.
You don't look like him?
Like my dad.
Yeah.
Like my widow doesn't look like him. Because these
doesn't?
guys weren't white. They're Mexican, bro. They're dark skinned. They're dark complexion. So then my wife actually, Oli, was like, nah, man, I'm not convinced. I don't think this is your dad. Oli's kept telling me, I don't think it is. I was kind of like, yeah, I think it is him. Because I kind of look like them. The name, Andres Posulto, is not a popular name. You know what I mean? And I talked to the dude. I talked to one of my half brothers, and he's like, yo, you know what? My dad told us that he had a kid that he never told us about. He's like, you're that kid. He's like, we always thought he was lying. He's like, but it's true. Right? So I'm like, I'm connecting the dots. I'm like, okay, this is true. It was about a year ago. So that was it. Something, my wife was like, nah, we should hit up the other dudes that you're related to, because there was dudes in, so it was a dude that I shared a lot of DNA with, then my cousin. There was another dude named Jose Solis.
Off
right?
the 23andMe?
Yeah, off the 23. I hit him up. They actually called me. I ended up talking to him, and then they were like, and the funny story about this, when I was searching for Efrain, when I looked for his address, his number, and all that, I had actually talked to this dude for like 10 minutes, but he didn't want to tell me nothing because he thought I was trying to scam him.
I see.
But when I hit him up through 23andMe, his son hit me up. I started talking to his son, and after months, him and I talked for a few months. He was like, look, I'm going to give you the number to my uncle that lives in Zacualco de Torres. And if you go down there, when you meet him, your dad's family is really popular there. You'll get connected with them. Like, you'll find him. I'm like, bro, I can't go to Mexico. Like, I can't just go. You know what I mean? Because of my status.
Yeah.
So I have family in Guadalajara. I hit up my cousin. I'm like, hey, why don't you go for me? Go to dude's house and get in contact with this dude. So she went down there, knocked on dude's door, and he was like, oh, yeah, I know him, blah, 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 blah. I know who Andres is. And finally, after 2 years, that's how it was. The dude, that previous family, the dude that I told you that was all messed up, kids murdered and all that, the dude that had died 2 years ago,
yeah,
is not the same guy.
Oh, so it wasn't your family?
It was not my family.
Oh.
This guy, my actual dad, is battling health issues, kidney issues. He's like really not the healthiest person right now.
Yeah.
But he's alive.
Yeah.
And he had actually told him, he's like, oh, yeah, I know who he is. He's like, yeah, I do know him. It's true. He got in contact. He gave him contact to my cousin. My cousin actually talked to my dad first before I did. I talked to him on the phone. And when I'm talking to him, dude didn't want to really tell me. I mean, he told me a lot of things. He was like, my mom, that's when I started connecting both sides of the stories. And my mom actually left that area and went to Michoacan after she was with him. She was with him. She was actually going to name me after him. Mm-hmm. And they had a fallout. I guess she caught him with other girls, blah, blah, blah. My mom got pissed off. She left. He says he actually saw me as a kid, and then my mom disappeared. He's like, I had no way to get in contact with you. That's what he tells me, right?
What did your mom say?
My mom was just like, yeah, whatever, that motherfucker, da-da-da. My mom, and then she's like, yeah, it's true, I left. I went to Michoacan. After Michoacan, she came to SAC. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, there's no way him to find you, which is true. He's like, but my mom says he didn't want a serious relationship with me anyway. So he has to quit acting like, oh yeah, he was looking for you. He didn't want a relationship with me anyways. You know what I'm saying? That's what my mom says. Yeah. It's just a bunch of he say, she said. Yeah. At the end of the day, I got my mom's back. And I was like, I hit up dude. I'm like, look, all I want from you is pictures, bro. Like, after I get a couple pictures from you, you going about your life. I don't really care. I don't want anything. And this dude didn't want to send me pictures, bro. He didn't want to send me a picture.
Yeah.
So he's stalling on sending me a picture for hella long, bro. Like probably like 3-4 months of him and I having contact. He didn't send me no pictures. And this whole time, he tries to ask me stuff about me, but he don't want to tell me shit about him. And doesn't want to send me. So I got to the point where I was like, look, bro, I don't want stop hitting me up, bro. I don't want to deal with you. During this time, he actually told all his siblings, oh, the kid that I had, blah, blah, blah. And all these siblings of his start hitting me up. And they're like, yo, I'm just introducing myself. I'm his sister, da, 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 da. And I'm like, what the fuck? All the siblings start sending me pictures.
Yeah.
The first picture I got from my dad was from his sister, not from him. He never sent. He eventually sent me some, but the pictures were from his sister.
So
you know what I mean?
Was this guy? Did your mom confirm that it was him?
Yeah, when she saw the pictures, yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
that's him. He's tall, 6'4", light skin.
Mm-hmm.
You know the funny part. You know what everyone calls him? They call him Güero.
Really?
And that's what they call him.
Yeah.
They call him Güero.
Does he look like your son?
Light skin, yeah. White, Güero,
the hair.
like Güero, yeah, white. And then the funny part, the whole family, it's a mixture of colors, bro. Some of them are dark, some of them are white. His brother has actually got red hair. He's got a sister that's got red hair also. They're from that area. They're 45 minutes away from Guadalajara, where's Canelo from.
Oh, okay.
45 minutes away. Zacualco de Torres is like is right out the outskirts of it. It's like Elk Grove to Sac.
Oh.
Similar. It's like that.
Oh, that close.
Very close.
Okay.
That's where they're from. And I looked at all the pictures, getting familiar with the family. He's very like, he does not want his wife to find out, right? Which makes sense because he's married, has 4 kids with his wife. And the reason why he doesn't want his wife find out, he's having a whole bunch of kids pop up now.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
the only one popped up. And he's having kidney problems. He's getting surgery. He's almost dying.
Yeah.
One of his kids was going to give him a kidney, right? But when his wife found out about all these kids, all his kids are pissed off. And let me tell you this, bro. This is the crazy part. Check this out. So he's with this girl. He has 4 kids with her. This is in Guadalajara, in the city. He goes to where his family's from, Zacualco, and there he never tells them about this girlfriend and this family he has in Guadalajara. Never once told them.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes over here. He actually gets married in Zacualco, a big ass wedding with this girl. Wow. He had a family in Guadalajara, a wife and 4 kids. He gets married with this girl.
Yeah.
Right? Has a kid with this girl. This girl leaves to San Diego with their daughter that they just had. He never sees her again. He told me I never talked to her again. Years later, which is recently, this is probably like 20 years later after he got married to this girl, that lady that moved to San Diego calls his house where his wife is with his 4 kids and says, "Where's Andres?" And she's like, "What do you mean, where's Andres? He's here." He's like, "Who's calling?" "I'm his wife." "What you mean his wife?" "I thought I'm his wife." Bro, like a straight soap opera, bro.
Telenovela.
Yeah, bro. So he says, this is what Andres tells me. He's like, imagine that, bro. He says, imagínate cómo se puso las cosas. That's his exact words. He's like, imagine how my wife. So his wife, that is actually not his wife because he never married this girl. He married the girl that went to San Diego.
I thought you said he married the girl he's with now too.
He never married her.
Oh, I thought he was married.
He lives with her. He
has like 4 kids with her or whatever.
He lives with her. It's like he's married, but he never actually put a ring on it and got married. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He married this other girl in Zacualco, and she left after getting pregnant and went to San Diego. He actually married her, but he never married the girl that he probably should have married, that he lives with in Guadalajara and has 4 kids with. You get it?
Uh-huh.
So he never married that girl, right? Check this out. that caused his kids, that caused everybody to get pissed, bro. Like his kids were like, bro, one of his kids was about to give him a kidney because that's what he needs. And they were like, man, fuck that. Kicked him out the house. He had just got surgery. He was sick. He got in deep shit. He's also right now, he's like fixing it with his family. He's all, they find out about you during these times. They're really about to fucking murder me. Right? So I thought that was, I mean.
He's asking all these questions because he wanted your kidney.
Yeah, he wanted my kidney. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm talking to him. And then when I went to Palm Springs, like I told you, I went to Palm Springs recently. That's when I started knowing the details and more about all this.
Who invited you to Palm Springs?
His sister. His sister Inez, which is actually the first person to send me pictures of him, is the one who invited me to Palm Springs.
Yeah. So did the wife know about you yet? Or
the other, his family? No. Like his kids and none of them know about me.
Oh.
The only ones that know about me are his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of them. Because look, check this out. He's one of 14.
Oh, so it's huge.
One of 14. My mom is one of 13. And my mom has another 10 siblings that she doesn't really consider siblings because they're half siblings just from my grandpa.
Yeah.
So my mom really is one of 23.
That's crazy.
And my dad is one of 14. Anyways, what made me think of this is my yeah, they don't have no TV. All they did was fucking. Apparently, what made me think of this is, I know a relative that had, you know, people like, for example, if the kid comes in, if you have a kid and you're married and you had a kid with some other girl, for the most part, you probably try to keep it a secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to tell somebody. The fact that he's over here telling all his brothers and sisters, I found that kid, Oli was kind of like, bro, that means, you know, he's not ashamed of you. Like, bro, he's over here telling everybody, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what got his sister Inez to hit me up and all his other sisters.
Because they kind of knew.
Yeah, they knew about you. And that's what they made him. I mean, that's what they wanted to meet me. And that's what made them invite me to Palm Springs.
So you didn't meet him there?
I did not meet him because he's in Mexico.
Yeah.
I talked to him on the phone probably like 5 times.
Yeah.
And I texted him a few times. But to me, it's I can't just act like nothing happened, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't act like nothing happened and he's my dad. And to me, I'm not going to be a dick to him. I'll still talk to him and be civil. But I can't just be like, oh, hi, daddy, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's just very hard for me to do that. But the family, his sisters and all that, and the cousins, my cousin Beto, like the dude that all of them, bro, man, they're beautiful, man. It's just the way they are, all of them, to the kids, to everybody. And I started talking and getting more familiar with why everything happened. I started to understand the story more. He was kind of ashamed of what the girl looked like, the one in Guadalajara. Like, he didn't meet his requirements. That's why he never brought her.
The San Diego girl.
No, the other girl. The San Diego girl is the one he married. She was like a dime piece. Yeah. That's why he brought her, and that's why he got married to her, because he's like, yeah, look at the girl I'm with. This is my girl.
Yeah.
But the other girl, he was
the one he's currently with.
The one he's currently with, the one that really should be his wife.
Yeah.
He never brought her to Coatzacoalcos. His family never met him, never met the kids. They feel like she was ashamed.
I see what you're saying.
Of that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why he never brought her. That's what they tell me, which makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the fucking story, and that's how I got. The craziest part about it, like I told you, they all box.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Little similarities that I have with them. It's just a trip. It's a real trip. Meeting them and seeing all these things in your DNA that you've done your whole life and never understood, and finally connecting the dots of, oh, I get this from this side, or I get this from that side. It's a fucking trip, bro.
Hey, but are they going to be doing your Zoom classes, though?
Hey, you want to know something? Bro, they came to SAC with me. That's how bad they wanted to see the gym.
Oh, they came back with you?
They drove to SAC, and they came to the gym because they wanted to see the gym.
Oh, wow.
And then they stayed at my house.
Oh, really?
So after Palm Springs on Sunday, they stayed at my house.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, I told them, I think you're the first people to stay at my house. I never had anyone stay at my house.
Oh, really?
And I told Oli, I'm like, how crazy is that? That we didn't have no one from your family or my family stay. We had somebody from my dad's side of the family stay. Who would have ever guessed that? Because I didn't even know my dad. So I just thought it was funny. But they stayed with me. Amazing family, really respectful. Nothing but great things to say about them, bro. Like, and it tripped me out just seeing the difference of and they have a mariachi band, right? They have they're in a mariachi. They have their own band, and the crazy thing about it, I find it crazy, is just seeing the biggest difference between Michoacan and Jalisco. The food they eat, the way they talk, their mannerism. Jalisco and Guadalajara, all that, they're very big on mariachi. Mariachi? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know the difference between mariachi and una banda norteña.
Mm-mm.
Or un grupo norteño. Un grupo norteño or una banda, like they're very different. Banda sounds more like, that's kind of has like the circus music. You know, people say, oh, Mexican music sounds like circus music. Banda sounds more like that. Mariachi does not sound like that.
So would it be in this consideration of like, there's hip hop and then there's rap?
Yes, exactly. But they're very different. Jalisco is very mariachi. That mariachi was born in Jalisco. Tequila, mariachi, all that. Coco, you know Coco? The movie Coco?
Yeah.
That's mariachi.
Okay.
That's Jalisco, bro. That's something in me that I don't really like mariachi.
Mm-hmm.
I never grew up listening to it because I was raised Michoacan. Okay. I was born in Guadalajara, but the way I was raised is Michoacan, bro. So I don't have those roots. And it's all foreign to me. And getting to familiar with that, I'm excited to get to know that side. Getting to know all that is way different. Way different. Night and day from my mom's family is way different. It's crazy. Just is, and you could just tell the difference. Like my mom's side, we're very, very, very poor, very uneducated because we were poor. They had no school, no nothing. They were poor, but they came up and they're educated. Like my dad speaks English and Spanish fluently.
Okay.
And he lives in Mexico. I mean that right there tells you.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just very different. I don't know. It was a trip, but I look forward to getting to know more about Jalisco, getting more about that side of the family.
Yeah, it's dope.
And I recommend you to do your 23andMe, find out your roots, bro. I think that'd be tight. You say you're always curious about your red beard and all this.
Yeah.
I think it'd be tight to find out. I'm not saying go searching for biology.
Yeah.
All that,
I'm just curious what like my mom's like maiden name is.
Yeah, you should.
Like actual like.
I think it'd be tight. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to share that with you guys. I had a lot of people. I know it has pretty much nothing to do with what I usually talk about on the podcast, but I thought it'd be interesting to share that with you guys. And since you guys see me talk about it on Instagram and social media and people in the gym asking me about it, now you guys know the whole story. How was the story, Ricky?
It was dope. It was like literally like a telenovela. Like you can write that in a script and it'll be like good.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I know. I tell people that all the time. Like my life really is like a fucking movie, bro. Like there's so much shit, one thing from another.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother chapter to that movie.
Yeah.
Right there.
That you just opened up for yourself too.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening. Tell me what you guys think about it. Send me a message after listening to this. I would love to hear what you guys think about it. But thank you guys for listening. Have a good one. We out.